Hi, y'all. Thank y'all for coming here this afternoon. I'm Sheriff Joseph Lapinto, Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. I'm here with the Harahan Police Chief, Ed Lepre, the Jefferson Parish Coroner, Jerry Sutanovich, Harahan Mayor, Tim Baudier, and Jefferson Parish Councilman Dino Bonanno. Here to announce a very sad case in the city of Harahan, which occurred last night and this morning. Earlier today at around 7:30 a.m., a father walked into the Harahan Police Department to report his child, along with his 43-year-old girlfriend, missing. When he woke up this morning, the 6-year-old and the 43-year-old were not in the house, although an older child was still in the house there. Reported it to the Harahan Police Department. They started investigating it as a missing person. They went to the house, started doing canvases in that neighborhood. The mother of the biological mother of the child lives approximately 1 block away around the corner. So the investigation led to go to that location. Upon arriving at that location, they located best to be able to describe it, maybe a 10-gallon bucket. It's a chlorine bucket, large, a little larger than a 5-gallon bucket on the front lawn of the mother's house. When they opened up that bucket, they found the 60-year-old deceased inside that bucket. Turned into a homicide investigation. Obviously, at that point, homicide detectives from Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office were called out to the scene. We utilized not only our resources with the Sheriff's Office, but also used the Major Crimes Task Force to come out and try to start canvassing the neighborhood, which our attention was drawn very quickly to the missing girlfriend, who is now missing in action. Right, we could not necessarily find her. We were able to find numerous video from different households in the neighboring area, which showed her pulling a wagon down late last night with the bucket inside the back of that wagon. Ended up performing an autopsy today on the child, and we can classify the child's death as a homicide at this point in time. We ended up doing extensive interviews with both the mother and the father, the biological mother and the father. We do not believe that they are involved in any foul play involved with the death of Miss Bella Fontenot, who is the 6-year-old that is deceased. Those interviews also continue to lead us in our investigation, looking for the suspect in this case, which I have 3 different names. Hannah Landon, which is an American name. She is described as an Asian female. Hannah Landon, Hannah, last name Landon, Landon, also known as Bunak Lim, Bunnak, last name Lim, or Bunak Landon, 43-year-old Asian female. As we were doing our best in order to locate her around 2 o'clock this afternoon, we were notified that she was possibly at one of our local hospitals. We were able to locate her at one of the local hospitals. She is now in JPSO custody, where she'll hopefully later be booked with at least 1 count of first-degree murder and obstruction of justice. Got a lot of different evidence with a lot of different scenes here, that we'll continue to work through. But of course, we have an arrest, and we have more tragically the death of the 6-year-old, which is going to be a big shock to the small community of Harahan. With that, I'll turn it over to Chief Lepre for any questions, and I'll take some questions afterwards, Joe.
Thank you, Sheriff. My name is Ed Lepre. I'm the Harahan Police Chief. This morning I was out of town at a conference, an FBI conference down in Orlando. I got a call from my staff in reference to a missing child. Immediately after learning more information, I reached out to the sheriff and the other chiefs that were with me at the conference. All offered to help. The sheriff and his staff, I can't thank them enough for coming in and working with our guys. Our guys responded. They were doing the right things. We just needed a little extra help, and I appreciate the sheriff for coming in and offering the assistance to develop this case. They were keeping me abreast on the hour. They got me an earlier flight. I just got back in from out of town, but I appreciate everything. The city of Harahan is still safe. It is a safe city. There's no threat to the public right now. There is an arrest. There is a case being worked. The sheriff, as we get more information, and if it's necessary to report, we will. But at this time, I appreciate all the outside agencies that came in, gave assistance to us. We're a small town. We're a safe town, and I just want the citizens to know that my heart and my prayers go out to the family of this child. This is a senseless type incident that happened, but I can assure you that the Harahan Police Department and the Sheriff's Office are there for the family, and we keep them in our prayers, and I thank y'all.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Jerry Satanovich, Jefferson Parish Coroner. I want to start off by saying thank you to everybody involved in this case, from the 911 dispatchers to EMS to law enforcement, and last but not least, the people in my office. Cases like this are hard. You know, we're parents, brothers, sisters, so it's very difficult and it affects everybody. So thanks to all of them, and they're very much appreciated for what they do. The young lady, the decedent, is Bella Fontanella. That's B-E-L-L-A. Last name is F-O-N-T-E-N-E-L-L-E. 6-year-old female. The manner of death is homicide. She has multiple injuries, and I'm not going to get into details regarding the injuries because this is still a fluid investigation with a lot of interviews that have yet to happen. So those details will come out. We're not, hiding them. We're just delaying the release of those. Thank you very much.
I'll take any questions if anybody has any.
The sheriff, why was Miss Landon or Miss Lim, why didn't she go to the hospital?
I'm not going to release that at this point in time. She, as I said, the arrest has just been made on her in the last couple of hours, so we haven't had the opportunity to interview her, although we're going to attempt that. So that's part of the reason that we're not releasing the cause of death of injuries and some of those information. So I'll probably will release that to you at the appropriate time, but right now it's not the appropriate time.
Sheriff, you said the bucket was found in the yard of
It was
girls?
It was in the front yard of the biological mother's house.
Of the little girl?
Yeah, so we believe the child was killed at the father's house, which happens to be about a block away, and then transported over to the mother's house, and then taken out of a wagon. Actually, is how it was transported.
Is her home on Sedgefield and the father's?
The father is on Donlin. The mother is on Sedgefield. That's correct.
Do you know if the girlfriend had planned anything, or do you have a possible motive?
I don't have any information to be able to share, as that interview has not happened yet.
Or any chance that it could have been accidental, or is that
Don't believe. No, I think the coroner made it clear. I think the manner of death is certainly a homicide. Yeah.
Was there issues with the girlfriend and the biological mother, and why was the child placed on the mother's front lawn?
I don't know the answers to that yet.
Do you know if the girlfriend lived with the child and
Yes, the
mother?
the girlfriend lived with the father, the biological father, and I believe they had joint custody. So at both times lived with both
Did the
parties.
biological mother find the bucket? Was she home at the time? Or
She
not?
was home. Harahan Police Department was there with her, but she was home at the time. That's correct.
Was she the one that found it?
I don't know exactly. I think that bucket was determined by him. I don't know who opened it, to be honest with you.
Can you talk any more about the mental state of the girlfriend?
No, not yet. I mean, again, this has all happened within the last couple hours. Really, she got to our detective bureau while we were here. So, I mean, let my detectives work for a little bit.
Where's the dad right now?
Dad, again, went through extensive interviews today. I don't know if he's been released yet, but he should be released, fully cooperative from that standpoint. Don't believe he was involved in the murder by any means, but I don't know if he's. When I left the detective bureau, he was still there, but he certainly could have been released by now.
Sheriff and the
his
other.
emotions today?
What's that?
Can you talk about his emotions today, the dad's?
Oh, I mean, look, you can imagine. I mean, I'm not going to speak for him, but I mean, both him and the mother are certainly extremely upset, which you would imagine on any person that lost a 6-year-old unexpectedly.